Assalamualaikum and good day to each and everyone. So as you can see, this video contains flexible cables, right? But just so you know, this is simply a continuation of our last week's discussion, which happened to be a flexible cable as well. But last week we have discussed about parabolic cable. This time what we will be talking about is about the catenary cable itself. Okay, but before I formally start this discussion, let me first give you some recap about our last week's discussion. Okay, and that is the parabolic cable. So sa parabolic cable, yung analysis sa parabolic cable is from highest to lowest point. Pero take note, yung parabolic cable carries loads. Not the same with catenary cable, because catenary cable carries its own weight only. Yung self weight ng catenary cable, yun lang yung dala nito. Okay? Because yung sa parabolic cable daw is yung assumption doon is masyadong maliit yung weight or masyadong maliit yung bigat ng cable. That's why negligible na yung weight ng cable. At yung ina-analyze sa parabolic cable is yung another party or another source of loads. For example, yung isang rod, yung isang road, yung isang bridge, suspension bridge. So, yun yung ginacarry ng parabolic cable. Pero sa catenary, ang dala lang ng catenary is yung own weight nito or yung self weight. Okay? Pero of course, yung catenary cable is, yung analysis din ng catenary cable is from highest to lowest point. Same lang sa parabolic cable. I hope I made myself clear in distinguishing kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng catenary cable sa parabolic cable. So, let's start this discussion from this figure. Let us now consider a cable from A to B, a load uniformly distributed along the cable itself. So, cables hanging under their own weight are loaded in this way. So, yun nga indicated dito. Yung loads daw is, yung uniformly distributed load is along the cable. Meaning to say, that is the weight of the cable. Take note of that. We denote by omega the load per unit length that is measured along the cable and express it in Newton per meter or in pound per feet. The magnitude weight of the total load carried by a portion of the cable length S extending from lowest point C to a point D. This one is W is equal to omega times S. Yung S class is yung span from point C to point D. Pero in general sense, yung span S is just the span of a one point to another point. Okay? So, substituting this value for W in formula 7.6, we obtain the tension at D, this one, here. So, contrary to the parabolic cable, so compared to sa parabolic cable, yung catenary cable has a loading that is uniformly distributed along the cable and carries its own weight, that is self-weight, because it doesn't carry loads. Yun yung sabi ko kanina. Take note, never treat catenary as parabolic cable. Highlight dito is never ever treat a catenary cable as if it is a parabolic cable, because iba yung analysis kapag sa catenary at iba yung analysis kapag parabolic cable. Kasi yung sabi ko kanina, yung catenary cable, ang dala lang nito na load is yung sarili nito, that is the self weight. Tapos yung parabolic cable is dala nito is may additional party or additional loading. For example, yung suspension bridge, yung mga truck, yun yung pinakaiba ng dalawa. That's why I am emphasizing never treat a catenary cable as if it is a parabolic cable. And if you just if you just have to check out these formulas, magkaiba yung formula ng catenary parabolic cable. So obviously, you cannot treat a catenary cable na parang parabolic cable. Okay? So here, yung tension, yung pag-analyze ng tension ng isang catenary cable is just simply as the omega times the Y. Okay? Y. Yung Y dito is yung height nung from one point to another point. Tapos yung Y squared is equal to S squared plus C squared. Nandito. Tapos x is equal to c times ln of y plus s over c. Pero if you were asked kung ano yung total span ng cable, that is just simply as S1 plus S2. For example, this one, yung A to C, from point A to point C, that is S1. Tapos point C to point B, that is S2. So to find the total span of point A to point B, that is S1 plus S2. Okay? So next, distance between two posts, meaning to say point A to point B, that is x1. x1 is from point A to point C. Tapos x2 is from point C to point B. Okay? So that is all for the concept behind catenary cable. So next video, I will be giving you some examples on how to treat or on how to attack problems concerning catenary cable.